Hi guys, welcome back to Rancor Exotics, and today we're going to be talking about another gene in ball pythons, and it is the puzzle gene. Now, puzzle was found more like in 2011 by Exotics by Nature. Um, I'm not quite sure how they came about the puzzle since it wasn't really detailed anywhere. But I'm sure it came up in their collection, and like always, they just kind of honed in on the gene. Now the puzzle is a recessive, much like clown, piebald, and hypomelanistic, and it really gives the ball python a really nice twist on their pattern. It is not so much as a color enhancer, it is more like it influences the pattern a lot more. So let's take a look at our first puzzle. Now, as you can see, the puzzle, you would say it looks a lot like a normal ball python, right? But as you can see in the middle, where the alien heads are, they kind of melt together and form kind of another line. The white on the belly climbs up a little more. You can see a little bit of flaring in their in the belly pattern, much like a clown. Now, this pattern, like I said, doesn't really enhance color very much, but almost on all examples I've seen, the color has been a lot brighter. Normal ball pythons are usually very mute. The browns are pretty they're not as bright as this. This is more bronze. Normal ball pythons are usually toned down a little more. So I think this is a great platform on which to build on. I'm sure you can add in other recessives to this gene to really enhance the look. Now, for our second ball python we're going to look at here is Orange Dream Head Red Xanthic Puzzle. Now, a lot of people are familiar with Orange Dream. I'm sure to make a video on it as well. Orange Dream, by a single dose of Orange Dream, really enhances the color, brings out more yellow, a little more softer orange. And Head Red Xanthic kind of messes with the pattern a little bit, and also gives it like a reddish bronze. It's really hard to tell that Het Red Xanthic is in an animal, thus the name Het Red Xanthic, because in the beginning people thought the Red Xanthic was a recessive. Later on they figured out that Het Red Xanthic is actually a codom. So together, the Orange Dream and Het Red Xanthic here. The Orange Dream, I can see it doing some work. I see the dorsal coloration really flaring up more. As you can see, the Orange Dream most likely pulled up more whiteness up from the belly, getting that belly pattern, the pattern on the belly to also kind of scrunch up a little more. I'm thinking that the Orange Dream, since it tones down on their pattern a little bit, I'm thinking that because of that, it really helped melt also the black on the belly. Het Red Xanthic, like I said, is really hard to spot here. The Het Red Xanthic might actually also be contributing to that dark patterning along the belly. As you'll see, the Red Xanthic really does have that type of effect on puzzle, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Now, moving on is our Mojave Puzzle. Now, Mojave in any gene combination is really pronounced. You know, it's like putting a banana in anything. You'll taste the banana, like in a milkshake or in any other thing. Mojave is like that. You can really see that this is Mojave. Mojave being a codom. Puzzles with Mojave, I think, have the most impact. You can see that that the normal melting along the belly of the alien heads isn't really happening because the Mojave kind of threw that pattern out of whack. As you can see, the dorsal pattern on the snake is trying to be very a kind of puzzle-ish. However, the Mojave is interfering. I believe that the Mojave puzzle really doesn't look all that impressive. I'm just showing it to you so you know what some of these basic codoms looks like with the recessive. Maybe if you add GHI to this combination, it would add a little more flair. I'm really interested in what that would look like. But the Mojave, I think, simplifies the puzzle a little too much. Right, you're getting into the puzzle for the pattern. And the Mojave looks like it tends to sucker that away from you. Talking about suckering away pattern, our next ball python is the Lemon Blast puzzle. Now, Lemon Blast is a pinstripe pastel puzzle. Pastel having an effect on puzzle, I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But pinstripe really does reduce pattern quite a bit. From this animal, it'd be really hard to say that this is a puzzle. As you can see on the belly pattern, there is like some melting of the black of the pinstripe lines along the belly. But otherwise, it'd be a hard sell for me to say that yes, this is a puzzle if no one told me it was. As you can see along the dorsal, there is additional patterning, which I think is a little odd because normal pinstripes, you don't get that at all. But it looks like maybe puzzle is having an influence on that. Next up is the puzzle, Pastel. Pastel, not everyone's a fan of it, but it's kind of like a bedrock gene. It's in everything, much like the government. But the Pastel, love it or you hate it, I think it has a wonderful influence on the puzzle. On this exact specimen, I think the puzzle, the Pastel really does help bring up the color on the puzzle. It helps a little bit with the contrast between all the nice pattern on the black of the snake compared to the white, the yellow. I think that the Pastel puzzle is definitely not what people are aiming for. It is probably one of the steps along the way in this project. Because if we move on to the next animal, the Super Pastel puzzle, this animal looks pretty darn cool. The Super Pastel tends to really throw pattern out of whack. It does that a lot in Clown. And you can see that a lot in Puzzle here. Now again, you'll have a lot of blushing on the dorsals, much like any Super Pastel combination. And again, because it is pastel, it will probably brown out. But I'm seeing that there's a lot of nice darks in this snake. So even if the yellow fades away and turns into that, you know, that murky brown, I think that the snake will still look amazing. Just more developed, more mature, right? Alrighty, so let's move on to the next snake, which is the Pastel Het Red Xanthic. Now, this I think is a better view of what a puzzle looks like because the alien heads on the side are really just melted down almost to a bar, but it's not like a tri-stripe where it's just, you know, 3 bars of patterning going down the snake. It really does have nice more arcs to it, more blacks in there to help you know, more diversify the pattern, which is what I really like. Pastel here bringing out more yellow. Again, the Pastel might be reducing the pattern a little more, and the Het Red Xanthic might be enhancing the blushing on the dorsal. The dorsals with Pastel usually aren't that apparent, but because of the Het Red Xanthic, it might be forming stronger dorsal bars that you're seeing there. It might also help the Het Red Xanthic might also help melting the side of the alien heads as well, because on our last picture here, the Pastel Red Xanthic, this is a Super Het Red Xanthic plus Pastel plus the puzzle. As you can see here, the snake the color is very off compared to, say, the Pastel puzzle we just looked at. The red Xanthic Pastel really does have more like a sterling look to it, more like a silverish. As you can see, there's like more melting into bars of pattern on the snake. The dorsal, though, isn't a solid bar. It does look like there's some parts that are just melted together and other parts where it really is jumbled up. I'm thinking if this snake didn't have puzzle, the het red Xanthic would probably produce more solid blotches of just pure color and not have too much pattern. But because of the puzzle's influence is pretty strong, I'm thinking it helps jumble it up a little more. Now, this direction is actually pretty cool, but I'd prefer it if the pattern was a little more jumbled up, or there was a better color palette here. The flames on the belly are coming up waist high to the snake, more up on the belly, and there's more whiteness to it. Now, this snake will probably brown out quite a bit because of the super het red Xanthic, but I think this is a great way to see how het red Xanthic interacts with puzzle. Now, this gene puzzle it's not new. Like I said, it was found in 2011. However, it wasn't really a gene that's been explored very much. This Pastel super het red Xanthic was probably one of the most interesting ball python combinations I found. However, I'm sure that there's other genes that can be mixed into it that will help better enhance the pattern. I'm sure Enchi and Super Orange Dream and other things like that will really help boost the coloration and patterning of the snake. Now, since this gene really hasn't been too delved into, unlike clown and piebald, this snake and the genetic differences different genes make really hasn't been mapped out all that well. There's not that many of these snakes for sale. Of course, compared to the clown and piebald, there's not that many. However, that just means that this snake will go for a little more if you're trying to get into the puzzle project. I know a lot of people are, and it's a really sought after project right now. I'm thinking the last time I saw a price on a puzzle on Morph Market, this is 2022, was right around $2,000. Now the price might go up and it might go down. It really depends. If everybody wants a puzzle out of nowhere, I'm sure the price will get driven up even higher. And if people get into the puzzle and they're not really doing anything exciting with it, I'm sure it will go down in price. But again, trying to get into this project today, it'll be $2,000 for a female. Males will go a little cheaper, and that's for a straight recessive, no codom, no dom gene animal. So it's a pretty pricey price tag to get into the project. But overall, this is a solid looking patterning on an animal. It's much more apparent, and I think that puzzle, along with some other new recessives, really does have a chance of becoming the next big thing. Of course, it'll take a lot for a gene to dethrone piebalds and clowns. However, I think puzzles would be a great addition to a breeder's arsenal in creating living art. All right, so this has been the puzzle. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Please subscribe, leave a comment, like, and all that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.